Welcome everyone to our webinar today, titled Flexible Workflow Configuration with codeBeamer. My name is Peter Haller. I'm going to be your presenter and host today. This webinar today will be especially useful for those users who are project admins who actually do the configuration in codeBeamer, and also for regular users who are using codeBeamer on a daily basis, so they will understand the basic logic of how to use codeBeamer and based on the configuration as well. So in any case, if anyone's attending the webinar who are not familiar with our company, Untitled Software, first I'm going to present a brief introduction of our company, and then I'm going to walk you through the steps of this demonstration for today, which will be based on some safety critical workflows containing how to set up a step-by-step solution approval workflow, how to add custom workflow actions, how to chain different workflows together, and also how to add certain guards conditions to your workflows. And also I'm going to present it and go into details in the live demonstration. So this is the structure of the webinar for today. I'm going to have a few slides at the very beginning, then I'm going to dive into our codeBeamer. In the short live demonstration, I'm going to present my points, and then this will be followed by a questions and answer session. At any point of the time during the webinar, please type in if you have any questions, type in your questions to the panel on the right in the GoToMeeting application, to the questions panel. And also note that the webinar recording will be available on our website and will be published soon after the webinar on the inkland.com/webinars, and we will send out follow-up emails in which you will also be able to find the direct links to our webinar. Please also feel free to sign up for our upcoming webinars as well. In 2 weeks' time, we're going to have a webinar on medical device development, quality assurance and testing, and the week after that we will have a webinar how to integrate your source code repositories as a Git, Mercurial, and SVN into your application lifecycle management. So who we are Untitled Software. We were founded in 1998 and headquartered in Stuttgart, Germany. We have an office in the Silicon Valley, USA, and also have partners in Korea and Taiwan. Untitled Software is the sole vendor and developer of codeBeamer application lifecycle management solution, with the features including such as requirements management, software development management, QA and test management, demand management, and the IT operations, so-called the DevOps. In this slide, you see a bunch of our customers from various industries, such as the automotive, high technology, defense, medical, and finance sectors. And note here that codeBeamer is a really scalable tool. So we have customers having small instances only for small teams with a few members. And also one of our greatest customers is the Lufthansa Industrial Solutions, where they have more than 5,000 users, and also they are our implementation partners as well. So whenever we are telling codeBeamer is a really flexible solution and the workflows can be customized in a very special way, we meant to use it because we are also using codeBeamer internally for various purposes. For example, we are using codeBeamer to our agile development processes. So we develop codeBeamer inside of codeBeamer. Also, we do the customer support and supporting our customers with codeBeamer capabilities. And also our sales and marketing department are extensively using codeBeamer for their processes. Even the marketing, you can find various materials on our website how our marketing is using codeBeamer in the agile way. Also, codeBeamer contains certain core functionalities of content management systems, and also they are using those functionalities as well. And we have our self-developed customer relationship management system also implemented using codeBeamer. So these are just basic examples how codeBeamer can be customized in flexible ways and in various different ways. And also you can implement certain agile and waterfall methodologies as well. And for that purposes, we also provide you templates in the system. So what I'm going to show you today in this webinar, I'm going to implement a workflow for for the compliance of safety critical standards. So let's have an example. Whenever in a standard requirement, you need to define certain requirements which are safety critical, and the system should automatically generate a related risk analysis and change request. I'm going to show you step by step how to add these custom actions to provide the compliance, for example, for the FDA regulations or ISC 62304 standards. And also going to show you how you can set up approval workflows when the system will automatically generate approval subtasks for the assigned to users, and then will trigger certain actions whenever all approval subtasks are accepted. That will generate, and via a change workflow will have an effect on the original requirement and will change the status, for example. And also I will show you how you can add guard conditions, and in these guard conditions, different conditions have to be defined for each state transition, and those conditions need to be met to be able to proceed. So right now I'm going to jump into codeBeamer and walk you through these scenarios. In our demo project, I will set up these configurations on the system requirement specifications. And our first point going to be when the system will generate automatically the related artifacts such as the risk and the change request when one system requirement is set up for the safety high. I'm going to show you we have here our requirements imported to this document, imported to the system. So for example, let's take one specific requirement here. And here in the details view, once I go into the details view, I see amongst the properties, I have one field called safety. And in this field, once I define it to the safety high, the system should automatically generate the related artifacts. To show you how it can be configured, I'm going to go into the customization. Now I save it. And go into the customization right now to the state transitions. Here you can see all the state transitions defined in our project, for our tracker. And here you can see a basic graphical visualization of our workflow. What you can see here are just simple state transitions without any conditions or customized actions. For now, to make this safety critical customized action, I would like to add it to the state transition from the status new to status draft. Therefore, I'm going to click on this define state transition. And here I see amongst my options, here I see my actions. Once I hover my cursor, this is a custom action to execute upon this state transition. Here, once I expand this pick list view, I'm going to see various options. Here I can see because previously our developer colleagues implemented this customized action, this named create risk and change request if the safety is high. So once I apply this customized action, I'm going to show you how the system will generate different artifacts related to my original requirement. So once I go into a detailed view of my requirements here, I see currently there's no connected risks and nor any other referenced item here. So right now I'm going to click on the define state transition. And now I just the system automatically generated the related risk item as well as the referenced change request here. Both are in the status new, as you can see here, also amongst the relations. Now, the next thing I would like to do, I would like to apply an approval process for this specific requirement. Therefore, I need to set up this workflow for this specific requirement. And therefore, I need to go back to my customization page once again, to my workflows, and I'm gonna start to build up this workflow transition from the bottom up. So I'm gonna go to my state transitions here and scroll down, and I would like to define this approval state transition to this from the draft status to the approval pending status. And this here you can see this is approved workflow here. And upon this workflow, I need to define this custom action that the system needs to be able to generate approval tasks for the users defined in the owner field. And note, in the owner field, you can also define certain people, certain individuals, and also you can define roles. And in this case, once you define roles, all the users in one specific role will be generated one specific individualized approval task, and those needs to be assigned as well. So right now, this is our first customized action named create approval subtask for all process owners. Once I click on this, this will generate items in the system. And the next step I need to do is to go to my approval tasks, into which tracker we will generating new items. And in the approval task customization, I need to change the workflows together. Because once I change the workflows together, once I accept one specific approval task, that should indicate a change also in the state transitions of the original requirement. Whenever each approval task have been approved and accepted, that in that specific case, the original requirement also shall be accepted. So I'm gonna go into the accept state transition here. You see we are already using here for that approval task custom action, which will validate the user signature in the system. Now I'm going to set up the connection for my requirement. So therefore this is a subject field where I define the connection to my requirement. I'm going to set up the status from which I would like to start and trigger this state transition. I would like to change the status field to accepted. Once I click on save, this is how the system will visualize you once you saved one change workflow connection, and will be highlighted the effect with the blue line. This way I also need to define the other way around whenever I reject one specific approval task. So whenever I reject one approval task, that should change the status back to draft from the approval pending. So therefore, I'm just gonna click on the reject state transition here. Also in the subject field, I defined the connection from the status approval pending. I will update the status field as well, back to draft. I click on save, go back to state transitions. I see here I also defined here a state transition from approval pending back to draft. And there's only one thing left. I'm going back to the customization of my original system requirement workflow and go to the state transitions. I refresh the page and configuration. And what I see here, I just defined and also visualized here the connection from my approval tasks. And I would like to be able to define that each approval, from approval pending to accept is state transition, which will be triggered upon the validation of each approvals of each approval tasks. I only be able to run this state transition when specific conditions are met. In this specific case, I need to have all approval tasks needs to be accepted. Therefore, I have a predefined workflow guard condition. But I'm also going to show you the configuration of this one. So in this specific case, I define the conditions. So issues for the subject field, where I define the connection, cannot be in the status unresolved or unsuccessful. These are unresolved and not unsuccessful are the meanings of each statuses, which can be defined on the state transition diagram, and you can define certain meanings to your statuses. So I'm going to click on save, and now once I go back to my state transition, I see also my guard conditions have been added. So I go to my system requirement specifications, and this is the item I previously modified to the status draft. Now let's check out whether the owners are selected. Yes, as you can see, based on the hierarchies here, I set up the hierarchy for the higher level requirement, and I already added the assigned to user and the owners, and those properties are inherited by the child requirements as well. So in the owner field, you see I defined a role, but I also can define here. So here I can see all the roles listed and contained in the project, and also you can see the members including in the specific role, and also you can choose amongst the members here amongst the individuals edit and have access to this project. Right now, leave it as it is, so the system should generate approval tasks for the individuals, including in the approval role. Alright, so I will run this state transition. And once I go into the detailed view of this specific requirement, I see under the references that I just currently created 2 approval tasks, one for my profile, for me Peter, and one for the test approval user. First, I would like to sign my approval test by myself, so therefore I'm going to click on accept. And to the system, I'm going to add my electronic signature. I'll click on save right here, and this just been saved. And also in the description you can see the direct link to our original requirement. In the other window, I'm logged in with my other user. I'm going to refresh the page. You can see here I'm logged in as a test approval, and this is the approval task I just generated for this specific user now. I will run the state transition from here. I will also accept this approval task right now. I need to add my signature here. Click on save. No, it does not work because I added a wrong signature. Click on save right now, and this is how now I approved my approval task, and you can see here my also within the description my original requirement. And go back to my original profile as well. I will refresh the page, and you see my original requirement has just changed its status. So right now it's in the status accepted from the waiting for approval. And there's only one thing I would like to define now in this workflow, that from the status accepted, there's only one status left, is the implemented status. But to be able to move my requirement from status accepted to the implemented status, I need to be sure that all the work is done. So all the connected items such as the customer, such as the change request and the risk is in the status resolved, or at least some progress is done to these specific artifacts. So I will try. I will now add a guard condition to that. I'm going to go to my system requirement specifications to the customization page, and I will also add the guard condition now to that specific state transition. This is my state transition here. I'm going to go into its customization, and I will add my custom action here. I'm going to define, I already defined this guard action as well. So well, let's say do this again. This is where all risk and change requests are resolved. And once I go into the edit field, this is where I can see. So whenever I open up my options here on Must Do More, where I can add conditions, I can see all the list of the field, and also I can apply certain logics that based on the logic I can make a differentiation between different conditions. So once I scroll down amongst the field, I see all the relations, all the references, and based on these references, for example, the risk, I can define whether it condition shall enable us to proceed if it has or has no any risk in one specific status or meaning of status, for example. And you can see I previously defined. So this condition is met whenever it has no change request which are in the status unresolved, and also has no risk which is in the status unresolved. And right now I just save it and add my guard to my configuration. Let's check it out. Yes, you see my guard is applied right here. So I'm gonna go back to my system requirement specifications list, directly to my item, and I will try to run this state transition to implement and see what happens. You see the system is not let me go forward because I still have this error message that all risk and change requests are unresolved. So first I will make the modifications to my risk. I will not add any data right now, I'll just run through the state transitions. So let's say this risk is mitigated, and also go back to my original requirement and make my changes on the related change request as well. So let's say start the process, and I resolved this change request. And I go back to my requirement, and let's see whether I'm able to make the state transition here. And now you see the conditions are met, so I was able to make the state transition successfully. So this is how you can enforce processes. This is how you can set up customized workflow actions. And this is how you can add, for example, a Google flow for your requirements. So right now, this is what I wanted to show you in this short webinar today. But before we jump into the questions and answer session, I also have some quick questions to you. My first question is, which tools are you using currently? Your options are Microsoft Office, IBM, Jira, HP, or other systems. All right, thank you very much for your answers. Here comes my next question, is what tools you are searching for to manage your requirements, testing, what you would like to manage, your entire development lifecycle, agile project, or multiple projects, go safe. Okay, thank you so much. We got 2 questions left. What software development methodology are you using currently? Your options are Agile, Scrum, Waterfall, V-Model, or Hybrid. Thank you so much. And this is our last question, whether you would like to receive further information about codeBeamer in the future, such as newsletters, invitations to our upcoming webinars, or any other upcoming events. All right, thank you so much for your questions, and this is time for you to ask. So I'm gonna open up the questions panel right now, and I will try to answer all your questions if there's any. And also once again to raise your attention on our upcoming webinar on medical device development in the topics of quality assurance and the testing, which is gonna be in 2 weeks time on the 12th of August. I'm gonna wait a few more minutes. And for those who leave the webinar, thanks for your participation and making the time to be here. All right, thank you for your time once again, and see you on our next webinar. Thank you, bye-bye.